ladies and gentlemen, Alberta's pride. Hey, ho!
Hey, everyone. You got the Temper Show. I'm Tommy Temper, and we're coming to you, well, pre-recorded today. So you'll have to just comment down below if you have anything to say to me. But this is the Alberta Independence Special that we're going to be putting on here, and going to be showing you a little bit about what's happening out there on social media with independence. First off here, this is something that I recorded a few days ago, and it was with reference to if Alberta separates. Actually, it shouldn't be saying if, it's when Alberta separates. And, you know, you've got the people on the haters on the left, pretty much. I don't know of too many conservatives that are against independence, but holy geez, those liberals. And there aren't that many liberals or NDPers or dippers, or they're known in Alberta here. In Alberta, not very many of you, but wow, you're pretty vocal. You've got that guy Nenshi behind you, and then you got the Osho and people like that. Just going berserk over the fact that Alberta wants to separate. Now, you know, and we'll get into why Alberta wants to separate, but I did this video, and it was, what about, I was thinking, what about the military? You know, we're relying on the Canadian military to protect Alberta, and what are we going to do if Alberta does separate? And I made this video, and it kind of went viral. Well, viral, you know, in the small sense in my world, which is about 79,000 views on Facebook. So let me just pop it in here and play it for you. This is me at a military kind of clothing and other type of stuff that you can buy that's ex-military and military type stuff. So just check this out. Hey everyone, Tommy Temper here. Hey, remember, independence for Alberta. And you might be wondering, well, what's going to happen when Alberta separates with the military? Hey, I'll be buying some military garb and joining up just like you, okay? So remember, get out there and sign that petition. Yeah. Hey everyone, Tommy Temper here. Hey, remember. So, that's what I had to say about that whole thing. And yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's probably a good thing to think about that. What are you going to do? I know if we did become independent, I could definitely do a few things that would pretty much help out with the whole situation. You know, like I could drive a truck. I could be an educator, a teacher, something like that. I could do things that, you know, maybe don't take an awful lot of physical exertion or something like that. Sure, I'm a little bit older, but hey, I still have, you know, a young at heart type of a spirit, that kind of thing. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I think that probably you should think about what you're going to do. Maybe we can form our own military. In fact, we're going to have to, and get people to join up and do our own thing, you know, just like other countries do. You know, like think about countries like Switzerland, where it is mandatory requirement for everyone to learn how to use a gun, and I think even to own a gun, right? And there isn't that much crime in Switzerland there either. Yeah. Okay, so that's it on that one. I think that we'll take a look at a few other things here with regards to things that I've saved here. Okay, we've got the Osho here, which she is kind of a little bit on the liberal side, you might say, definite liberal, and she's always got something to say about things conservative in the world. And let's see what she has to say about independence. The Osho. Osho? Oh? What's your complaint about Alberta independence? Why shouldn't we be independent? Let's find out.
Now that we have an active treason happening in Alberta, meeting with the regime that would take our country.
You know, like, think about what she's saying. An active treason, you know, and this is Rath and a few others went down to the States to investigate what kind of monetary lending that might happen in order for us to get over the hurdle of independence. And this is with people like her and David Eby in Vancouver, Victoria, BC, saying that it's a treasonous to be doing stuff like that. You know, like, let's face it. Um, when the convoy happened, Trudeau and the federal government were deathly afraid that the convoy was out to actually take over Canada, right? And the same thing with the oil and gas convoy that happened in 2019. They thought that it was out to, like, go over there and take over, and that's not what this is all about, And we've been trying. In fact, the convoy went to Ottawa to try and talk to the Liberals, and they just shun you. They shun us out west here. They don't talk to us. If you want something, well, then you have to be net zero. You have to be green oil, and put a whole bunch of conditions on Alberta and Albertans in order for us to get anything at all. And it's stuff that we want to do. For us to be able to do things, it's just slam us right down, time after time after time. And here you go. Here's your typical Liberal going along and towing that line of, oh, it's treasonous, and you're bad people for wanting to do better than being slammed down all the time by Ottawa.
And asking for $500 billion in a line of credit, this is not a joke. This is serious AF, and Canadians are rightfully furious about not just the situation, but the lack of courage of Pierre Poilievre to denounce it, of him to get
Oh, for God's sakes. Why should Pierre, look at, it's just like these people to be saying, you need to denounce this. Why don't you denounce that? It's like somebody is something. How many times have people said to me that I have to denounce something? My thoughts are my own. Pierre's thoughts are his own. You don't have to be telling him what to do, and he doesn't have to do what you try and tell him to do. If you want to denounce something, which of course you have a channel and you have a right to say whatever the hell you want, which you are, but to try and force somebody else to do something is absolutely pathetic.
Prove that he's not part of it, of Danielle Smith to not be able to denounce it. I
Same
think you
thing.
denounce the treason that is happening with some of the leaders of the Alberta separatist movement, or you look as though you're in line with them. And I don't think any Canadian is going to tolerate any more of this crap.
Yeah, exactly.
Now that
I think that there's a lot of people that are going to tolerate what's going on. I don't know why we're tolerating that crap that's going on from back east, from Ottawa, from the Liberals. Like, we're having to put up with so much bullshit. We can't get ahead at all. People are like virtually dying in our hospitals in the emergency. They can't get through. You've got such a gross amount of immigration coming into Canada that it's overloading the housing systems. The food is more expensive. 6% it's gone up. You can't find a place to live. You don't have enough housing. A whole bunch of stuff like that, and it's all because of the Liberals. The Liberals. Blame the Liberals. Don't blame the Conservatives. And don't try and say that it's Pierre's fault or that it's Danielle Smith's fault or whatever. It's all BS, and it's basically because of the Liberals. And they do stuff, they start stuff, they make this a country that's not livable. People want to separate. Why do you think Quebec wants to separate? Why do you think Alberta wants to separate? Now you've got a movement in Saskatchewan. They want to separate, and also in BC. Why is that? Is it because of the Conservatives? I don't think so. I think it's because of the Liberals out there. Here's Nenshi. He's basically the NDP cohort in Alberta, politically at a provincial level, and he's more pretty much the same thing as Osho.
This is Danielle Smith's fault. Danielle Smith caused all of this by pandering to the separatists.
What a bullshitter!
By coddling them, by cozying up to Trump, by cozying up to those who want Alberta to be the 51st state, all for her own political gain.
And nobody said that Alberta wants to be the 51st state either. Alberta is having a vote, okay, to become independent, not to become the 51st state. You know, this is fear mongering, just like Carney fear mongering and getting all of you liberals all elbows up against Trump. Yeah, well, he's doing it against Danielle Smith with this fear mongering. You know, shame on you, Nancy.
She has caused this. And it is time for Danielle Smith to take a stand. No more word salad. A sovereign Alberta within a united Canada, her favorite phrase. What does that even mean?
Well, yeah, what it means is that we need to be able to control our own resources. If you're going to stay in Canada, which, of course, Danielle Smith is the provincial leader, so she can't be outright saying that she's in favor of separation or independence. So being sovereign and having more control over our resources and a lot of other things instead of begging to Ottawa for everything, that's what she's talking about. Why can't you figure that out? It's not that difficult.
An Albertan recently told me, that sounds like me saying, I want to be a single man within the confines of my marriage.
Oh, for God's sakes. Yeah, stick to TikTok, okay? Just stick to your TikTok, Nancy. Shame on you. He's, you know what? I hear he's taken ivermectin for his eye. There is the latest thing, which is, yeah. Don't take it for anything else. And it's a horse medicine, but he's taken it. Maybe it's gotten to his head there a little bit. I think so. And then you got Fun Tom on X, who's like posting crap like this. It's like, we're separating. Oh, Maple Mega. It's like Maple Mega. Yeah, right. I think the conservatives in Canada are not Maple MAGA. They got nothing to do with MAGA. Make America Great Again is American. It's not Canadian. If we're going to say anything, we're going to say make Canada great again. Get rid of the liberals in Ottawa, and I think we'll have a chance at getting ahead in Alberta here. But if that's not going to happen, oh well, we'll just declare independence. We'll vote on it, and we'll get the numbers right up there. And I'll show you a little bit about what the numbers are at right now, which is absolutely phenomenal. And the numbers that I'll show you are from a few months ago. But this whole thing is just really blowing up big time. Number of people that are signing the petition is unbelievable. Here's Marty up north. This is what he has to say. He's got, you used to be way more objective in your analysis of events. I find your current denial that the Alberta independence movement is real quite fascinating. This is he's talking about JJ McCullough, who is out there posting on X.
Hey JJ, I've been following you for a long time. I mean, I respect your YouTube content and the fact that you've done appearances in the House of Commons and defended the right to free speech and things like that. Like, that's all really good. But I've been watching your I'm calling it a meltdown online on social media right now. You're in total denial, buddy. Like, I thought you were more objective than what you're showing. Like, we are presenting you with evidence that this independence movement in Alberta is real, right? I mean, there was a rally at the Big Four on Stampede grounds last week with 4,800 people. There was a rally in Edmonton late last year where 12,000 people showed up. I've been posting just very short format, little videos, informal videos, nothing edited. I'm just taking my camera and I'm going to canvassing events where people are collecting signatures and putting that out there. And you're seeing lineups, and you're even CTV, even CBC, they're all having to take notice of this. They can't ignore it. And your effort to try and blow this away as a nothing burger is actually like really, really fascinating to watch. Like, I don't understand why you're in such denial when presented with evidence. And more concerning is the fact that you seem reluctant to come and witness personally and see the evidence with your own eyes. So I don't know what that is, but I'm offering it to you right now, buddy, bring me on your channel and let's talk. I'm not an official spokesperson for the Alberta Prosperity Project or anything else like that. I'm actually a concerned citizen, a diehard separatist for sure. I've worked across the country, so I can speak on the subject. And I'm a canvasser, so I'm a guy collecting signatures at this point. So either bring me on your show or come for a visit to Alberta, and I'll be your host, and I'll tour you around some of the local events. You know, better if you come on a weekend. It's busier on a weekend, but you know, your recent post trying to discredit Jeff Rath, who, by the way, did an absolutely amazing job, right? Jeff is confronted with a hostile journalist, and Jeff delivered a master class on how to deal with a hostile journalist using nothing but facts and conviction. And that's why Jeff is so effective at what he does, other than the fact that he's a lawyer and he's spent a career pleading cases in court. But he's not doing mental gymnastics in his head trying to remember which lies he told. He's a man of conviction, and he's factual. So that makes it easy when attacked by a journalist. Anyways, I digress. So the offer's out there, buddy. Like, bring me on your show or come out here. But right now, your absolute denial of the evidence that's being presented to you is fascinating.
Yeah, that's Marty up north. He lives in Calgary, and obviously, if he's collecting signatures, he's pro independence, and yeah, just basically a pretty good guy. You know, I like everything that he has to say, and I pretty much agree with him. Yeah, it's not looking good for those people that are against separation. They really don't have too much to say about it at all. And he was referring to this particular interview, which is Jeffrey Rath, along with Vasi Kapelas from CBC. She interviews him, and it's actually it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny, the stuff that he has to say about Carney and the federal government and the way things are in Canada here. All really good reasons for Alberta independence. Like, Carney is the best person that's actually shoving Alberta into independence, because of his mistreating the province so badly, and cozying up to China and doing all kind of stuff that is absolutely berserk, trying to throw Trump under the bus and all kind of stuff like that. Like, Carney is such a fool, and yet people go, yeah, but he was the main banker, the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England, and we can't find a better guy than him to actually run Canada. But as a diplomat, as a and all he's doing is he's poo-pooing Trump, throwing Trump under the bus, our biggest trading partner in the world, and he's running around over to places like Qatar and small countries all over the place and trying to bolster trade with them, which is just a small part of Canada's trade. Let's listen to this.
Can you understand how, on the face of it, Canadians would view, some Canadians outside of the ones that support your cause, who are not necessarily unempathetic to the frustrations expressed by people in this province, but who would view the idea of people here meeting with a government that has, spoken the way it has about this country as a whole as problematic and seeking money to make this happen.
I understand that there's a lot of Ontarians and people in Quebec that suffer deeply from Trump derangement syndrome, but we're not doing anything untoward. It's absolutely, from our perspective, we're just conducting due diligence on behalf of our fellow Albertans. We're serious professionals. I mean, I've argued cases at the Supreme Court of Canada, for goodness sake. I mean, we take what we're doing very seriously, and obviously the attitude of the United States towards Alberta independence, which incidentally is overwhelmingly enthusiastic, is something that informs our movement going forward. If the United States said, oh God, we can't tolerate that, flies in the face of the communist New World Order, we'll slap a 300% tariff on Albertans if they leave because we want you to remain resource slaves of the communist government in Ottawa, it would be a totally different conversation. But that's not the case. We're gratified that it's the case. And quite frankly, the Trump administration shows Albertans far more respect than is shown to Albertans by the government in Ottawa. Do you think three of us could get a meeting with Tim Hodgson to talk about the need for a pipeline to the Pacific Northwest so that David Eby can't continue to hold us hostage? Of course not, because they want us to be held hostage. So, so I understand that there are Canadians that are upset, especially in Ontario, that when Alberta leaves, that Ontarians for the first time in their lives are going to have to pay their own bills and pay the bills of the Maritimes that we've been paying for years. I understand that's upsetting to people, but they need to understand that Albertans are done, we're leaving, and there's no more conversation to be had. I know that's upsetting to people.
Do you believe, though, that the motivations of the people you're meeting with or in the Trump administration are altruistic? Like, do you think they want what's good for you and people who support your cause, or do you think that they're trying to leverage this to get the upper hand against the country of Canada as a whole?
I've studied foreign policy at the university level. I have an honors degree in political science and I have an honors degree in law from the London School of Economics. Don't you think that communist Ottawa is leveraging communist China against Alberta? I mean, come on. I mean, we live in the world of realpolitik.
But you don't mind being a pawn in that fight?
We're not a pawn. I mean, we're talking to them about our aspirations, and we have our goals and objectives.
Typical CTV.
So, we're not a pawn. We're actually more like a rook or a queen on a chessboard, moving forward in the direction that we want to move freely on the board. The pawns are the provincial premiers like Danielle Smith that are being manipulated by Carney and Eby and communist China to do their globalist bidding, as far as I'm concerned.
When you mentioned that you've met with people in the State Department, you feel as though that message has been conveyed to Scott Bessent. That's why he made the comments he did. How high up are the meetings that you're taking? Are there names, for example, of people that you're meeting with that we would recognize offhand?
I'm not sure about that, probably. I mean, we're meeting at a very high level. People in our meetings are going, direct.
Stephen Miller?
I'm not going to say. I mean,
Why not?
We're not, because we're not, we have an agreement with the people that we're meeting with that we're not disclosing the identities of the people that we're meeting with. So
why not? May I ask?
Well, because it's an agreement. So that's all.
But again, would it be reasonable to question the motivations of making that agreement?
Well, that's probably why we're not talking about it. We don't want them being bothered by people from the press in Canada asking them silly questions.
Plus, he doesn't trust mainstream
media. They don't want to be wasting their time answering questions from the press, right? And we're fine with that. We don't care. I mean, we know already that our meetings are paying dividends when the U.S. Secretary of Treasury is announcing the fact that the U.S. would be open to a pipeline through the Pacific Northwest to take David Eby and communist China out of control of the Alberta oil field.
May I ask then, in a different way, have there been conversations, among yourself or people in the movement with, for example, as high as President Trump?
No. Well, I mean, I haven't. I'm not sure about David Cameron. He's not really part of our movement and part of what we're doing. He's the leader of the Republican Party of Alberta. He claims to have been to Mar-a-Lago and whatever. We don't need to meet with President Trump. We're really technicians when it comes right down to it, right? At the end of the day, our next delegation to Washington, we're going to have bankers, economists, corporate lawyers, et cetera, to help with this feasibility study that we're conducting, right? And we're going to be putting together, what a potential deal memo could look like and put together a complete dossier so that we can just hand it over to whoever the government of Alberta is in power and say, hey, if Ottawa is giving you a hard time, here's an easy way out. There's a large credit facility that's available through Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan or whoever in the event that Ottawa tries to cut off your money.
Okay. So you see, there's Jeffrey Rath, who is basically leading the whole Stay Free Alberta, as it's known now. It used to be the Alberta Prosperity Project, but they've changed the name to stayfreealberta.com if you want to find out where there's more information, where you can sign up, stuff like that. Head over to stayfreealberta.com and check it out. See if you can find out more information about that. And I think that Alberta is going to become independent. At least we're trying to do it. Look at Quebec. They've already had 2 votes and they haven't achieved it yet, but I think they're working on a 3rd vote there now. They were very, very close, almost half of the population. And over here, let me just show you what the latest poll is here, which is actually kind of interesting. This is where we're at here. The support for Alberta independence is stronger than they admit And just take a look at this. We're looking at, here's different polls. The lowest poll is 36%, 41%, 45%, and 47%. And this is a little while ago here, now that the polls were taken. So now that you have this rhetoric with the mainstream media and that really bombarding is causing a lot more people in Alberta to go against Ottawa and the mainstream media, which are pretty much all lefties. The mainstream media is paid for. They get subsidies from the federal government, so they're always bowing down to the Liberals. And yeah, as far as I'm concerned, we in Alberta are fed up with what's going on there. Alberta has been failed. Absolutely, Confederation is a failure for Alberta, and we're going to do something about it. And we're going to, well, right now there's just a petition on whether or not a vote is going to be held in the fall, and we'll see what happens. But otherwise, hey, thanks a lot for checking out the stream here today. I'm Tommy Temper. This is the Tommy Temper Show. See you later. Whoa. That's right.
He's the YouTube king of the widest streams.